Hi, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Julian.
Welcome to the pilot episode of Let's All Geek Out Over Manga. This is going to be the first episode in a series Julian and I will be putting together where we talk about manga that we're really into. We'll kind of be rotating through a few pages from what we're talking about each episode, so at least there's a little context. You can kind of see that here in the middle of the screen. This is our first episode. We're likely to change up the format as we continue, but we figured for starters this would be a good place to get going. We're going to be aiming for short episodes, somewhere around 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. This one's probably going to be a bit longer just because we're kind of explaining what we're doing, and we're trying to figure this out as we go. And topics could range from individual chapters to full-on volumes, kind of whatever we're really into, the week and stuff when we record this. We just really like manga and want to talk about it. And so for this episode, we're going to talk about Chapter 67 of Dragonball Super. Yes, it's a little late, but we really want to talk about this because...
Almost a month later.
Almost. It's almost a month later. But we really want to talk about this, and we've been waiting. So, so let's get into it. I'm not going to recap too much, because if you're watching this, you've probably already read it, or at least you're familiar with the story. For some future episodes, we'll probably do a quick little recap, or maybe like a whole arc before we get into chapters and stuff. But in short, Goku saved the day again. Great. And now the gang tries to relax after thwarting another universe-ending event. Julian, what did you think?
I think a good way to do the recap from the last one that we did is to do like a last time on Dragon Ball Super.
Yes.
Like this show, man.
Well, we'll do that next time when you talk about it, because I'm sure we're going to... If there's any series we're going to talk about a lot, it's probably going to be Dragon Ball. So.
Oh, yeah. I am just a huge Dragon Ball fan, man. I mean, I have a Super poster right here. There's like 5 Gokus over there. There's a Goku right here. Like,
yeah, this... I'm a Vegeta fanboy myself, so it makes for a fun little dynamic here.
Yeah, we always get in arguments as to who is actually better.
And I always win them. But yeah, so what do you think about this Chapter 67?
It was interesting, man. I thought it was a good, lighthearted conclusion to like the whole arc. I mean, this arc as a whole, the Moro one was definitely one of the better ones for Super, because
super interesting. It felt really different than something
like the stuff for Super. It seems like it's been primarily focused on like them getting the god powers and like evolving them and a lot of tournaments. There's
a lot of fighting. Weird, huh?
Yeah, a lot of before, like you think of like Z, right? You didn't really have a tournament up until, you had like the world tournament, like little mini arcs and stuff like that, but they always led into something bigger, except for the Cell games, and that was they just happened to fight in an arena. There wasn't even a fucking tournament.
Yeah. Like, you know what? We're gonna do this by the book. Let's have a good old fashioned tournament. Why? Because that's what we're doing, Toriyama.
And then you get beat by the second person you fight.
Right.
All the rest of them just sit there, but like it seems like Super was primarily focused on those two aspects, and so this took it to a more traditional. It kind of ended in a traditional Dragon Ball way with Goku saving the day, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But the stuff that led up to it was different than stuff you'd see like in the series as a whole, right? You don't ever see anybody relying on magic and stuff like that. You had Bobbity and stuff, but
right. And then Vegeta getting some cool new tricks, and then going
over to Yard Rat.
Right, yeah. But this was this chapter specifically was kind of the closure, was it epilogue of the arc, and so it was everyone's kind of catching their breath and stuff, and and kind of just I guess going about their business and stuff. But what were some things you really liked about it, or or didn't like, or anything?
I really like the inclusions. I feel like this chapter or this arc and the arc before and stuff like that, they've been really showing him a lot. So I feel like his inclusion is becoming inevitable at this point. And it's going to end up being like they're going to go past the end of Z at some point, right? They have to. We're getting close, man.
Yeah, it kind of begs the question too. Is like, all right. They're going this far with this. Everyone's got a cool new haircut or a new special power and everything like that. Like, where does this end? Where, with Z and stuff. When is that going to happen? But
another thing that I liked was the whole galactic patrol awards and stuff like that. Goku and Vegeta and
Goku grabbing the Galactic King's dong again. I don't know why he
I think
does.
I think he knows which one it was.
He has to fish around in there for it. It's not like oh hey, nice to meet you. It's more of a like, there we go. Hey, like
it's not like he's just putting that up there for him to grab.
Yeah, because he's always, but he's like, the Galactic King's kind of like, he's like, oh man, you're doing this again, huh? But it's like you don't stop him; he does not pull it away. So it's like, it makes me wonder. They kind of, they're kind of into it. I mean, but.
Another thing I liked is I always like these slice of life episodes, right, where everybody's just shooting the shit. Yeah. You see like the shots of like Goten and Trunks, just like, oh hey, they still exist in the universe, right?
Yeah, they've barely been talked about like at all. Yeah,
and then all the stuff in Namek being reverted back to normal before Moro was there. But like realistically, if you think about Namek as a whole from the Frieza saga on, like how many Nameks has there been? Like how many times have those people fucking died?
Yeah, enough.
Yeah, like they're used to it. Oh, Goku's here. Looks like we're gonna get wiped out again.
There were some cool surprises like Miras, being alive.
Yeah,
but no longer an angel anymore. So that'll be interesting. But I think it's cool because he's always kind of had his place on the Galactic Patrol anyways and stuff. And he just kind of he would lean a little bit on his angelic powers, but now he's just full on mortal, I guess. So
yeah,
be cool to see more of him. I like him.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see where they go with him from there. But in Dragon Ball, he's probably just gonna fade off, right?
Yeah. It's like, here's a really cool character. All right, but here's Goku, and look at his new haircut. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what?
Oh no, sorry. So yeah, that's I mean, those are the things that I've been interested in. Really, I really didn't have any gripes about this arc as a whole, except for maybe the ending. But that's just because it kind of felt like after a good build up to the whole arc, they kind of just rushed the end of it. And it suffered a little bit just because like it felt like an easy trope, right? I get tired of it every time Goku's like, "Oh, I can kill him." Nah,
I want you to be as strong as you possibly can. Forgiveness is everything, or some shit.
And I didn't even know that he technically killed Moro. Like at the end of the last chapter, like he just punched him in the head, and then the chapter kind of ends. And I didn't know he killed him. Like,
yeah, I mean, they don't really. It's kind of a thing with with Dragon Ball. It's like when they finally defeat somebody, they just move right on. Like they don't linger, they don't hold on to anything. Like, oh, cool, he's gone. Neat. Frieza's back. That's okay.
What you get is a thumbs up from whoever killed them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Goku.
Yeah, it's always a Goku. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Yeah. So no. Yeah. One of the things I really liked about it was how Beerus and got in trouble and had to have little Zeno riding him around and stuff like that, giving his caretakers a break. How they're like just chilling in the hot tub, and then meanwhile he's getting his ears pulled and stuff. That's hilarious. And then also, I mean, just right in the beginning and everything too. Hercule or Mr. Satan, he throws a big old barbecue for everybody, so everyone's just munching around and stuff like that, having a good old time. And I like that. Again, it kind of goes into like a little bit of the slice of life type stuff, and I like that a lot, especially when you have a long arc that was as really like just pretty intense, for like the whole thing, just even the build up and stuff, and seeing everybody getting their ass kicked and stuff like that. And so it's cool to see everybody's kind of chilling and hanging out again.
What's nice about that too was not only did we get to see everybody, but everybody actually kind of had their moment. Like whether it was against like grunts or whatever, it was cool to see Krillin and Yamcha and all them like fighting just these low level people and actually winning and stuff, right?
Yeah, and my boy Vegeta getting some good shots in, getting some cool tricks. I like it.
Yep.
But this did, this wasn't just like a, kind of a filler chapter and stuff. They did start kind of setting up, the next sort of arc and everything too by, 7-3's remains, were picked up by some scavengers and stuff and brought out in space. A new character is introduced, Granola and Oatmeal, which, I don't think we see Oatmeal. I think you just hear him or see him talking to Granola and stuff. Yeah, but Granola, though, he seems pretty cool. He just runs in, starts finger banging, all the clones and stuff like that. And, it's assumed that he probably recovers 7-3. He doesn't he's sees him kind of halfway floating in the tank at the end and stuff like that. He's kind of got a smile on his face. So I'm pretty interested to see where they go with that. I think you and I were talking offline about this, after we read it a couple weeks ago. But
so we should do a video on this.
Yeah. But you know how they're kind of it's getting a little more like galactic-y and stuff like that, and space heavy, and I like that. You know, I think you brought up a really good point when we were talking about how, you know, this is Super so far has been all about like kind of gods and ascending and stuff like that into, you know, godhood. Hell, we see, you know, Goku master Ultra Instinct and everything like that now, and so it's kind of cool to see, you know, a bit more involvement from the Galactic Patrol and stuff, and you know, just kind of seeing where else they go with it. I'm really into that.
Yeah, I like that the threat seems to be, and the same thing with Moro, is the threat is within their own universe.
Yeah.
It's not like some inter-universal, like it didn't come from Universe 11 to come over to fuck their shit up. It's like somebody that was there the whole time. And they started that trend with Brawly, even though they didn't go serialize Brawly through the manga or nothing like that. Like they started that with Brawly. Like, hey, there's still powerful motherfuckers in your own universe.
So what was really cool about like Moro too is like he was like super strong and everything, but he was all about magic and stuff, right? And so it was like it was a different kind of a threat, and you know, just like, hey, he's like sucking the earth dry and he's eating planets and stuff. It's like, oh shoot, this is a little baby Galactus rolling around, you know, and everything, just getting super strong, and so it was different, and I like that a lot.
I'm hoping they do something. They continue that trend with these new characters, right? Like with
make them interesting. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, just go outside of that. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like the whole galactic thing and going way outside the scope of traditional Dragon Ball and going more into like magic or techniques that isn't just throwing fists at each other. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Like I'm really curious to see, like, I mean, I'm a Vegeta fanboy, but I'm really curious to see like where he goes with this new, like these new abilities that he has, because he's so different. And so, I mean, he's still the same old Vegeta and everything, right? But he's got these brand new powers that are a lot different than anything he's had before. So I'm really curious to see how he utilizes those going forward and stuff.
And they got those powers, like, you know, going back to what I was saying, is they got those powers because Moro wasn't like the typical person they fight. Like everybody they've fought up to that point has just been like, hey, who fucking punches harder, right?
Yeah.
Like who shoots a bigger beam. Whereas like Moro challenged them to think outside of that. You know, went and trained with Mirrors to master Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta went to learn techniques that he never would have learned because he needed peace of mind and like and spirit and stuff like that in order to even do them in the first place. So it was a cool departure from the, hey, we're just gonna go train and come back and punch you in the face.
Yeah, it was a lot different than kind of the traditional escalation that kind of happens in Dragon Ball and stuff, where it's like, I gotta get stronger, so I'm gonna do a bunch of push-ups, I'm gonna get a new form, I'm gonna maybe shoot some key blasts a little bit differently and everything like that, but I'm just a stronger version of who I was yesterday. You know, now it's like, now I'm a different version, not just a stronger version, I'm a different version of who I was. So but yeah, you know, so as we kind of wrap this up and stuff like that, is there any like final thoughts you had about this at all, or you know what?
No, I'm just excited to see where it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next chapter will come out on the 20th of this month, and we'll get a video out pretty close to that this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And I mean, I thought 73, whatever it is. I thought he was an interesting character, even though he was a little side piece to the Moro arc. But it was an interesting character, and so to see that not only is he alive, but that there's someone else out there that knows about him, more or less is interested in him, and that there's a bunch of them like in the spaceship. You know what I mean?
Right.
It makes it this interesting to see where they're really going to take it from there.
Yeah, and even more interesting too, like add on top of that is like Granola wants 7-3 specifically, so he has to know that like how 7-3's involvement with Moro and like, you know, Earth's mightiest defenders, you know,
or what he was doing before, because he came from the galactic prison, didn't he? Like with
I think so. I don't really recall, but
I think there's like a gap between when he shows up. So,
but Granola's making a beeline for him specifically, right? So it's like, okay, so it's pretty interesting. But I'm also looking forward to see where they go next, and hopefully keep the Galactic Patrol involved, because I like I like them a lot. So
yeah, me too.
But yeah, so that's gonna be it for our pilot episode. You know, we'll be back soon with some more episodes, especially anything Dragon Ball related too. So, you know, if you enjoy yeah, absolutely. So if you enjoy the content, feel free to leave a like on the video, leave a comment below, some suggestions. You know, we're pretty new at this, so any feedback is super welcome. But yeah, so with that, I'm Kyle.
I'm Julian.
and I'll catch you later.